Fordham Bedford Housing Corporation is about improving Bronx neighborhoods by providing safe and affordable housing. Joining us now on set to talk a little bit more about their housing and green initiatives, we welcome now the Executive Director of the Fordham Bedford Housing, John Garcia. Good to have you.
Thank you. But first, my boss will kill me. I'm the Executive Director of Fordham Bedford Community Services.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So it's okay. John Riley is the Executive Director of Fordham Bedford Housing.
Well, we got the correction there.
There you
Good
go.
to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Fordham Bedford Housing Corporation was founded in 1980. It was a community-led initiative to prevent the arson and the abandonment that was happening in the South Bronx. Everyone remembers the famous line by Howard Cosell during the 1978 World Series, "The Bronx is burning." So we started in 1980 with one building. Presently we have over 100 buildings and we house over 3,000 families, so we're very proud of that fact. In 1995, however, the board felt that it was necessary to create a social service agency to provide some of the much needed programming that our community lacked, so they founded Fordham Bedford Community Services.
So when we talk about development in the Bronx, obviously a lot is going on. You look around the borough of the Bronx, there's a lot of development, but you guys are actually bridging the gap in a lot of different ways too. Talk about some of the ways that you're actually bridging the gap amidst all this burgeoning development.
So first, let me say that we are dedicated to providing, as you said, safe and sound, affordable housing with the emphasis on affordable. We try to rent our apartments to families that are in our neighborhood and are working poor, lower middle class, and we try to stick to the 30% formula. So people, usually we try to keep the rent at 30% of their income, given the different properties that we own. Right now, the Bronx is the poorest urban county in the United States of America. We have most of our buildings in community boards 5, 6, and 7. Community boards 6 and 5, they're the poorest. They're among the poorest community boards in the city. So there's a serious affordability crisis, not only in New York City, but especially in the Bronx. So what we're doing is we're trying to preserve rent-regulated apartments. We're trying to preserve the existing stock of apartments that are in the system now that people can afford to rent.
In addition to doing affordable housing, though, I know you're also trying to stay green, and there's a lot of green initiatives within there to try to...
So recently we've also, in addition to preserving the current housing stock, we've gotten into developing our own properties, new buildings, if you would say. So we try to incorporate a lot of green initiatives in our buildings. So Servium Gardens is one of our newest projects, and it's on the grounds of Mount St. Ursula. So it's a facility for seniors, and it has a beautiful green roof. So we capture a lot of rainwater there. We reflect a lot of the heat back in, we absorb a lot of the heat, instead of reflecting it back into the atmosphere. We have low VOC paint, bamboo flooring, which bamboo is a renewable source for flooring. So once you cut a bamboo tree, it keeps growing, so you don't have to replant anything. We use special windows that maintain the heat in the winter and maintain the coolness in the summer. So we're trying to, we just installed a new solar hot water heater in one of our buildings. So we've completely providing hot water without using natural gas. So we're trying to do all the things we can, not only to preserve the affordable housing stock we have in the Bronx, but also make it greener.
And when we talk about that, I want to talk about open space development. And what does that mean, and how are you guys playing a part?
So we have, like I said, we have over 100 buildings in the Bronx. Some of the buildings that we have had vacant lots next to it. So we lobbied the city for many years to give us control over the sites, and we developed 2 playgrounds that are open to the community, and we poured our own resources into the playgrounds. We opened them up to the community during the summer, and during the spring we also opened them up to area residents. Some providers who provide daycare in their homes, we invite them to bring their children down into the playgrounds. Some of the buildings, we have a lot of community centers in our buildings, so we open them up to the tenants. That's where Fordham Bedford Community Services also comes in, and we run after-school programming in some of our buildings. We have extensive programming for immigration, ESL classes for adults, and we are very proud of we have young people in the audience today, so we are very proud of a college prep program that we have. So we work with sophomores through seniors in high school, and we prepare them for the college process. And I'm very proud to say that one of our students this year actually, she was a recipient of the Posse Scholarship. So she'll be going to Trinity College free of charge. We've gotten kids into Cornell. We have a kid going into Fordham University.
Awesome.
And we have a young lady who got into the Sophie Davis Biomedical Program at CUNY.
Awesome.
So we're very proud of our college access program.
And they're right here in the studio audience with us here. We can't get a shot. We may get a shot before it's all over. We're glad to have them sharing with us. When you talk about the development, you talk about the fact that you're building these buildings. Talk about the Bronx, because you see 1.4 million people, but when you talk about the amount of years that you've been in service, I know you're seeing an influx of more people. We're seeing more people coming out of Manhattan because we've been talking about the whole gentrification thing, and more people coming out of Manhattan and some of our other boroughs.
We're at a crossroads right now. Statistically speaking, the people that are moving into the Bronx are poorer than the people that live in the Bronx. As you said, people are being pushed out of other neighborhoods, and the Bronx has the image as the most affordable neighborhood, most affordable borough, but that's not the case. Most of the people that live in the Bronx are rent burdened. That means they're paying well over 30% of their income towards their housing costs. So people are coming to the Bronx because they think it's cheaper, but the people who are coming can't afford to pay the rents that these private guys are asking. So there's a serious affordability crisis, and we can see, as you mentioned, about a developer who was building a building and now is turning it into a Department of Homeless Services shelter. So when you have developers building buildings, then taking them offline, and not giving access to people who need the services, then the problem gets worse.
For people who want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with the corporation?
So they can go to our website, www.fordham-bedford.org, or they can reach us at 718-367-3200.
Well, thank you for coming, John, and also thank you for bringing our studio audience today.
No problem.
Hey,
Thank you.
good to have you.
Likewise.
John Garcia here with us. Listen, stay tuned. We got more show coming up right after this.